Hello fellow YouTubers, I'm Jenee Dionne of Jurney Jurray, and today we are continuing with our series of Watch Me Go, and today we'll be working on a amber waterfall necklace. Let's see what this looks like. Let me give you a roundabout. Okay. Hopefully you like it, and if so, I hope that you'll watch our video and see how to make this. Basically, this necklace is on a 16-inch chain. It has 144 beads, and in this video today, we will wrap 144 beads and also connect them to what I am referring to them as limbs, and then we will connect those limbs to the chain and your end result is voila. Enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start with our materials. First of all, we're going to need a bunch of eye pins, the chain that I'll be working with today, and of course a good mixture of beads. Today I'm going with check glass amber beads, and that just actually includes an array of different beads, but for the most part the coloring is amber, mixed in with pearls and other glass beads. And of course you'll also need your jump rings as well. In this case I am using the real teeny ones. There you go. So let's get started. Okay, I'll begin by wrapping the assorted beads for the waterfall necklace. And we'll just begin by putting your eye pin inside your bead and wrapping it a few times. And for this waterfall necklace, I'm going to guesstimate that you'll probably wrap anywhere between 120 to 140 beads. For me, it depends on the neckline, how broad you want that necklace to go across the neckline. And right now, as I'm wrapping, I'm just going to do a continuous motion. I will wrap and set aside, and once I have wrapped every bead in this pile, I will then begin clipping the excess eye pin off, and then we'll move on to the next step. So for now, I'll go ahead and continue to wrap all of these beads, and we are getting closer. We are getting closer to the final product. Okay, so as I continue wrapping the beads, as you see, I just have a few more left, and wrapping will be completed. And we'll just kind of whip through these. And again, like I said, then I'll begin clipping the excess metal from the eye pins, and then completely closing up the wrap bead. And as soon as that's done, begin measuring the chain, and also there's a little bit of math involved when hanging your pieces for the waterfall necklace. So we'll figure that out and just keep moving forward. last one. And we will let the clipping begin. Okay, I'm just going to get these little nippers here, put my excess to the side. Just make a whole separate pile. I guess this is what you call production. And I'm getting as close as I can. Oops. As close as I can to the very beginning part of the metal. That way I can get all the excess off. Okay. So I'll go ahead and whip through these. And then we can begin measuring our chain and hanging beads. And as I continue to cut excess metal from the eye pin, you'll notice that I'm also bringing in that final piece of metal just to make it a little bit cleaner. And you may be wondering why I'm using wire cutters as opposed to these cutters. For me, they make a cleaner cut, and they're a little bit easier to work with for me. They cut a little bit closer to the edge. Sometimes you just have to work it a little bit. As you can see, we're almost at the point where we're ready to start connecting our glass beads together. And what it's looking like, I'm figuring this necklace will need what I will call trees or limbs, I guess. I'm going to say this necklace is going to need about 23 limbs to kind of hang across the neckline. And the very longest limb, your middle limb, will have 12 beads attached to it. And they will go on down the line. The next beads to the next limbs to the left and right will have 11 beads. Those next to those will have 10, 9, 8, so on and so forth. So in total, you will have 144 beads on this particular necklace. Down here. Okay, so now we have our pile of wrapped beads, and we're going to start connecting them together. Like I said, the very first one, the longest length, will have 12 beads connected to it. So I'm just going to grab a random bead, get my jump ring, open it up, connect my bead, and then I'll take probably a smaller bead and add that. And then we have 2. And I'm going to go to the smaller bead, grab another jump ring, and just so you can see, this jump ring is actually going to go through the loop that you created. It's not going to go through the loop of the jump ring. It's going to go through the loop that you created. Oops. There we go. And like I said, you're just going to continue to connect the jump ring through the loop of the bead, and then you're going to put a bead on. So now we have 3, and we're going for 12 on this limb. Again, this will be our longest limb. And I'm just randomly grabbing beads out of my pile. I'm not going in any specific order. But of course you do want there to be some balance. So you don't want anything too bulky on top of anything too bulky, or too small on top of anything too small. So far we've got, looks like 4 wrapped beads on our limb. And we're just going to continue to build. After I've achieved 12, I will only have one of them that will have 12. The next 2 will have 11 wrapped beads on them. The next 2 will have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And thereby you will have used all 144 of your beads. And again, you're putting your jump ring through the loop of your wrapped bead. It's not going through the other jump ring. as you continue to build. Oops. My count is right. You've got to be probably about 12 right now, but let's just count just to see. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, this is our very first limb. Okay, and now we're going to create 22 more, and then we will start hanging them on the chain. Okay, so let's go ahead and measure out our chain. For this particular necklace, I want to go ahead and measure out 16 inches, and the reason I'm not going 18 is because of the limbs that will be hanging down. So that should give it enough length in itself. So as you can see, I've got all the limbs done, all 23, and so now we're just going to start placing them on the chain. And the first thing we need to do is find our center point, and that chain hanging down right here, the very bottom, that would be our center point, and that is where our longest chain, our longest limb is going to go. So from here, I will begin to open and place our limbs in the open link. Close, and move on to the next. There's one done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and skip a link just so everything remains consistent. So I'll go to the next link, open it up, there's two, looking good so far. And just continue on down the line. Make sure your links are closed very securely. Okay, so how we're looking so far. As you can see, it's getting shorter as we go on our way up. You got your diagonal slant there. Looking good so far. Okay, and as we continue to finish up adding the beads, or the limbs, I should say, with the beads to our chain. To that finish line as we add our last two limbs. last but not least, everything is secure. And voila! Here is your Waterfall assorted amber bead necklace. Beautiful. Here's our final product. See if we can get a closer view. Sorry. Let's go ahead and see how it looks on. And if you'll notice, I'm also wearing the matching bracelet. Same concept with the chain as well, same chain. Back to the necklace. Looks pretty good. See if we can get a little bit closer. Okay, back to the necklace. Looks pretty good.